Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Fog. Thinking right out here in the lab, doing what I do for you. I'm excited about this lesson. We're doing my thing. I'm doing what I like to do. Get you understanding of who you need to be in your personality. So let's get started. Rightism, 25 rules live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's go. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, and that's what it is. Through spiritual, mental, and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. I give you all the information to make that possible. So that's what I do for you. Your job is to come get it and know thyself with it. All right, so I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. If you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's my goal. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to my yacht be true. We doing my girl again, Aset. To unveil her, she tell you no mortal eyes or human eyes has ever seen me. Why? Because you got to see her with the eternal eye, the spiritual eye. But these are things that you need to be aware of so you can recognize her when you do unveil her with what? Knowledge. Okay, that's her thing. So let's go with it. The right thing is, let's talk about. I had a whole bunch of titles. I said is beyond intellect. I said means wisdom and knowledge. Okay. Also, I said, getting to know I said her symbols and the meanings. I like that better because that's what I'm going to break down for you. Her symbols and what they mean. So I give you a better understanding of my girl, I said. So let's go. Before going into the principle of our set, let us first discuss the concept. Remember, we're dealing in concepts, theological concepts, mythological stories, and principles that you can manifest. Moving on. Let's discuss the concept of what? The mind of to know where our set fits in. Well, okay, I can tell you a whole bunch of stories about her. Do your due diligence, so I had to waste a whole bunch of time giving you the good stuff. Learn about her yourself, and then you can respect and understand why she is who she is. I'm gonna give you a breakdown so you can. I'm gonna give you the basics, and you can do the rest. All right. So in Netherrean conceptions and right thing philosophy, the philosophical, mystical conception, there is a basic level of the mind. Okay, and that is what we call the Unpo different levels of what animal instincts of an individual. Instinctively, we use Unpo as the discerning aspect of the mind. This is what I says bring you to understand. And you do need to what? Know how the distinct reality and how to have a what? Demarcation between what yourself, individual, and the objects of the world. That's why we learn how to master that. Don't get caught up in the worldly things. Separate yourself. Be in the world, but not of it. That's the concept. So we've done that already. Now, as well as what? You have to control your desires and your feelings about the world. If you just got to, you just have to, you don't have control. If the things of the world make you do certain things, they say money is the root of all evil. No, it's what you will do for money that's evil. And if you didn't let money control you, you have no reason to do evil things. I'm just saying. I'm not perfect by no stretch, but I get a philosophy that keeps me in due bounds. Masonic fellas. Okay. That's what the compass is for. That dot in the circle, that dot is you. That circle, square, circle, that's your due bounds. You should never be out of bounds. That's the concept of God, too. Moving on. Where we at? Or demarcation and point between. Okay. Now, when you have control of the worldly things, right? You also need to be able, again, to what? Discern what is needed versus what is desired. Again, I will always supply my kids' needs. I could care less about their wants and their desires. That's up to them to take care. And if you want something or desire something, it's your job to go get it. It ain't the parents' job to satisfy those things. But your needs, we got to supply that. God give us air. He's a supplier, it's a sustainer. There's enough of that to go around for everybody. Get the concept? Okay. So you need to see clearly. Not with these two, with this one. Okay, I lined it up. Yeah, that eye right there. That's the eye that will recognize Aset. That's why the mortals don't see her. Why? You gotta raise your conscious level to recognize her. And what's this? What is right? You have to see clearly to know what is right from wrong. Distinguish. I am hungry or I'm not hungry. This is my friend or this is the enemy. All these is instant concepts that you got on the street. When I had to make a decision, when somebody wanted to come get some drugs that I would sell illegally, I had to make a decision. If they friend or foe, I had to be conscious of how they walk, how they talk, how they conduct themselves. Why? That tell you what kind of person they are. They don't even pay. Anybody who can read body language, they tell you everybody has a language that they speak. Anybody speak their own. Your persona, personality means your persona, what you project out. Everybody has it. Moving on. Like armpits, souls, and assholes. We all have it. I should talk or I should not talk. Knowing when to open this pie hole and when not to. That's all control that you have over yourself. And when you don't, stuff gonna come out that I didn't mean that. Yeah, you said it. Understand that. Lack of thinking before talking. All these is things that you can practice and get better at. Hence, self-mastery. Now, you got the basic level of mind. I am in pain. Everything is I. That's the ego self. Again, trying to get you the concept. I'm in pain. I'm not in pain, etc. See, we're going. But human beings have another capacity. You ready for this? Which is intellect. We can comprehend. We can think. We can create thoughts and ideas from nothing, so, as they say. That's how God created everything. We are in his image and we can do the same thing because he gave us this. Animals don't have intellect. Intellect is presided over by what? The divinity we call Tahuti. Your mind, that's God's mind. Intellect is in our context, is defined as what? Having the ability to what? Put meaning to your thoughts. That whatever you bring it from here, you can physically make it happen. Hecka, words of power. Utter into existence what you want. That's all power that we all have. Moving on. Or, watch this, to your perceptions about the world. You project what you want and you understand what you see by understanding, having intellect, following, doing the right thing. You will have a different perspective about the world. And when you elevate them to what? In reference to your, you ready? Your ego personality. That's the I. That's the me. You don't want to kill it or destroy it. You just want to control it. And the world as well as what? The past, present, or future. And you also are in relationships to what? Your desires and your values and or what? Aspirations, imaginations. These are all things that you are in control of once you start to be able to think right, act right, and perform righteous actions. Negative actions, ignorant concepts will cause problems. Of course, we are what? Putting these things in what? In a cut and dry way. I'm trying to break it down simple. I ain't got a whole bunch of superstitious nonsense. Cut and dry, okay? But most people, and what? Of course, this include sometimes you have mixed mental capacity. You have certain levels of intellect. If you are following a religion, you have maxed out your intelligent. Why? Because you believe something and you are done pretty much as far as learning. Why? Because you think you know. Moving on. Belief is not knowing. Knowledge, wisdom, that's knowing. Gnosis, to know. Why? Through experience. Some things are very clear in the world, and some things are cloudy. Yeah, but that's when discernment comes in. If you got foggy thoughts and misconceptions, that means you're not clear on what you should be doing. You need some tutoring. That's all. You need some help. Everybody ain't self-sufficient. Everybody ain't self-made. Everybody can't do it that way. Some need help. That's why I do what I do. For you, if you one of the people, I'm here for you. Simple. Okay. Some things people have power over. Again, spiritual discipline, self-discipline. Here's the point. To control. Well, what they can control, some of them they can control what? Not smoking. Okay. I don't smoke. I don't smoke. Okay, but I control that. But at other times, can you control your sexual desires to go sleep around and have random sexual acts? I control that also. I don't have a problem with that. Some people do. Again, these are all concepts that everybody got to live through. Reality. Come on, man. And some persons, if they can control sex, what happens? They may not be able to control smoking. I'm batting 100. I control smoking and I control sex. Now, some can control anger. I'm getting better at that. At another person, but cannot control what? Deceptiveness, lying, deceitful. Some people just built that way. They're going to be that kind of person. Those people who always got a hidden agenda, we know about them. And divorousness. That means they're always doing something with a hidden agenda. And only time they're going to deal with you is if something they can get from you. You know them kind of people? Avoid them. I do. It don't cost you nothing. And some people can be what? Compassionate to others. Yeah, gotta watch them too. All right, but not to themselves. If you love somebody more than you love yourself, you really got this thing wrong. I never forget my childhood sweetheart told me, I love you more than I love myself. I said, baby, I can't return that. Why? I love me more than I could ever love you. It starts with me. I knew that a long time ago, 16 years old. 50 years later, I'm still standing firm on that committed stance to this day. I'm never going to love nobody more than I love moi. Call me conceited, call me what you want, okay? But this complexity of what? Of human personality occurs, why? Because of their aura, your irie, your actions have been what? Layered at what? Different levels of what? Your unconscious mind, aka your ab, which is the heart, which is the container. That's what they got in the vase. When it goes on the scale of my yacht, it's in the vase. Okay, that's the concept. The container, the ad of what? All your impressions, all your prior thoughts, all your desires, and all your intellectual concepts and your personality has been believed in what? Throughout many lives, lived throughout many lives, and thus are lodged where? In the mind, conscious mind, the heart. That's why it speaks for you at Judgment Day. This mind is only good when it's in use with the heart. When the physical body dies, this dies with the body. Why? They throw it away. Don't even keep it. Why? Everything they need to know is kept in the heart. This is disposable. Okay? They don't even save it. They don't even keep it. They keep your lungs, your liver, okay, 4 things in the canopy jar, but they don't keep the brain. See where I'm going with that? Moving on. They understand and they throw the butt. The body gets, but they mummified the body because they had it one concept that they got that wrong. The spirit ain't coming back to the body. Moving on. We figured that part out. Trust me. We know now. Moving on. Some people still believe that concept. No, you ain't got to believe it. Why? We know better. We believed it when we did it. We believe it. It didn't work. Okay, moving on. When you are wrong about something and you realize you're wrong, confess, move on. If you still want, like to say, when you start to lie, you're going to lie, deny to what? You die. And you will. Trust me. Moving on. I done forgot my space. I don't know where the hell I'm at. God damn, everything is messed up down here. Where I ended up. Okay, lies in the mind. Okay, here you go. Now, beyond intellect, we have Aset. Aset means wisdom, and it means knowledge. At the level when you're dealing with her, you done surpassed ego, you done got past your mortality. Now you raise your conscious level, you become a different person. Trust me. But this is a special form of what? Wisdom, the kind that is known, and not just by experiencing it, but what? But by not by experiencing it, but being it, becoming it. This is called intuition. And it is and it transcends, again, is higher than the thinking process. Akashic record, that's where I said is well. Dang it. Thoughts are not part of what? Intuitional realization. Excuse me. It goes beyond that. And it is an ancillary aspect to Aset is what? Sa. Sa represents understanding, clarity, that aha, or we know it in Masonic order, 47 problem of Euclid. Eureka, I got it. When you get upon the joke, it's funny, and react to that. When you get a devastating news, oh, it hurts. That's that Sa. That's understanding something just happened. Either it's funny, it's hurt, it's good, bad, but that's what it is. Understanding the situation. And Sa, Sa, NDJS, it means to not know, ignorance. Okay, short term. Not understanding, ignorance, smallness, pettiness of mind, lack of knowledge, weakness, and more around evil. Okay, not good. Sa is what? The aha moment that you have when what? When you realize the truth. That aha, I get it. The light go on, I love that. Why? That means you learn something. If I'm in the dark about something, that aha moment is when I get the information. Oh yeah, I love doing that. So I troll for information all day long. That's my thing. I love intaking information. So if I'm an information giver, I gotta be information what? Gatherer. If I'm not studying, I'm teaching. If I'm not teaching, I'm studying. That sounds like a good life. But they ain't gonna worry about how good it is. It's what I do. You do what you do. Don't worry about mine. I got me. Moving on. Let's go. So it ain't about critiquing or judging what somebody else do. It's all about what you do for you. And what I do is to help you do just that. Moving on. The aha moment. Okay, that's when you realize, okay, now this is called, you ready for this? Excuse me. Aset. Let me go back. Aha, that moment that you have when you realize truth of something. And that is how it works, etc. When you find something out, understand what it's about. Now, Aset is what? The knowing that occurs upon what? Becoming one with what is known. You got to become the God. Mimic them, emulate them, become them, eat, sleep, and drink them. That's why you got to become them. That's what they mean. When I started playing sports, my first football experience, I put my uniform on, I slept in it, I was eat, sleeping, drinking, and playing the game in my mind over and over again. That's preparation, practice. We know that to be, okay, you practicing, you should get better. Why? Because you're putting in the work. Muscle memory helps out. That's what practice is for. Not like Allen Iverson, he got a gift. Practice. I'm going to practice to do this. I'm Allen Iverson. But no, that's the concept. When you got a God-given talent, you have to cultivate it. Kobe did best at that. Moving on. They called it Gnosis, spelled Gnosis. And by the followers of Gnostic, Gnosis is the basis of what? Gnostic spiritual traditions based on Gnosticism, which is based on what? You ready? Knowing the divine, not believing. Gnostic means they was Gnostic Christians. How about that? And they dealt with knowing the divine by what? By being one with it. I tell you, we got to all become one. Right on point. My way, still the same way. It's a different way to get there, but it's the same way. It's getting you there. Trust me. And this watch this. When you become one with your higher self, you know thyself. Thy is the higher self. And the opposite of Gnosticism, you ready for this? We got a bunch of these people, is what? Agnosticism. An agnostic is not necessarily a person who does not believe in God or a divinity, but a person who does not believe that God can be known or the ultimate reality can be known. Ignorance. Ignorance and more ignorance. If you think because you don't know God that nobody can, that's ignorance to the highest power. What you should work on is trying to find out why you don't know him. If everybody talking about knowing him and you say it can't be done, really? Moving on. So I don't subscribe to agnostics. Gnosticism is the practice, here you go, of what? Is a practice of leading the mind through what? Studying, informing, having knowledge, gaining experience to know, not to believe. I want my right thinkers to know thyself, not to believe in thyself. As you can see, Netereism, which was former right think philosophy, branches off, is an ancient Egyptian Gnostic tradition. I keep telling you, I didn't make it up, which was what? Practice thousands of years before the later Egyptian and Greek Gnostics of pre-Christian era developed as a what? A distant group. Why? They felt the way they felt, and the power that be didn't, they broke off. And Gnostic Christianity was what? One of the sects of Gnosticism that developed in the late period of ancient Egyptian history related to this concept of what? Jesus, Jesus, whatever they call it, because the Jesus J didn't exist back then. So it's a concept, it's a philosophy, whatever you want to call it. It's not literal. So specifically, it was strong where? In the ancient Egyptian city of Alexandria. So from Unpo, we go from discernment, we go from what? Tahuti. And from Tahuti, which is knowledge and understanding, we swing over to Sa, which is understanding. And from Sa, we hit who? Aset. And then from Aset, we can go to what we term what? Un-Ren-Ra, or the translated name of the god Ra, the secret name of Ra, the creator, the high god of gods. This is the ultimate reality of the name of Ra. If we were to raise ourselves up to what? The higher level of Aset, which is like a jumping off point into what? Transcendent high levels, then we would be able to stop what? Time, and make creation disappear to discover what lies beyond time, and with it, space. It was said when her son Haru was stung by the scorpion that her uncle Set sent to get him, she came back and saw him dead. The wail that she made was so loud, God heard it and everything stopped. Take care of my son. If no love like that mother love, that's why she's the ultimate mother. She will stop the world for hers. Okay? And I'll get to the other part later. She got a whole bunch of things that she do that let you know why she is who she is. Let me wrap this up. I see the clock. Now, space has no meaning without what? Time. We give it. Without the passage of time, things do not change, and their meaning comes in only with what? The movement and changes. And without time, there can be no movement or changes. So without time, the objects of space revert to what? Undifferentiated matter, and the primeval ocean, aka the noon. Now we are going to see how that happens, and that'll be in the next lesson because I'm gonna cut it short. I gotta go. And right thinkers, hope you're getting this. I'm loving this. Hope you're understanding it as we go. I'm gonna take you through step by step. So in closing, right now, hope may all you right thinkers live to be 100, and may 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you have passed away. Oh, I'll be back. I got more.